I am so excited that we are in this is my favorite portion. Are you guys gonna get done with me saying that? Probably. So one of the fun things about the word is that it is alive and it is constantly changing and it is constantly moving and it's so good and I'm shocked. I don't know why. Why am I shocked? 20 plus years. Why am I shocked that every single year I'm like, how is this brand new? How am I learning new things? I don't how is this how am I seeing this in a different way? And I can also say one of the things is like I was just telling Leanne, our co-host, everyone big clap for Leanne. She's our co-host on Fridays, who's helping us with all the technical things so we can focus on just sharing what the Father has put on our hearts. And she's helping let people in. It's not too late for those of you if are watching live. It is not too late for you to hop into our Zoom living room and hang out with us because as soon as the recording stops, we open up and just chat and talk and get to know each other a little better. You don't have to. You could just sit and listen. You don't even have to talk. We won't call on you. You don't have to turn your camera on. We don't care. It's good. So we're just blessed and just a big blessing this today. Father, we thank you for this day. What an amazing gift that we all woke up breathing. Thank you, Father, for your word. Thank you that it changes all the time. Thank you, Father, that it speaks to us right where we are in our situation at this moment. Amen. Yeah, I was talking to Leanne and I was saying how teaching every Wednesday on Messianic Lamb, one of the things that happens a lot is I think then coming in on Fridays, like, oh gosh, how am I going to, if someone listened on Wednesday, I want them to have something new to hear on Friday. How am I going to do that? And every single week, it's like something new pops up. Um, so I'm excited about that. Today, my co-host is actually Brenda. Brenda is going to be hopping on here, Miss Brenda Johnson. She will be on here in just a little bit. We're having some technical difficulties getting her on, but I do have a song that I want to start with because, again, this Parsha, the one thing that hit me, well, there's two things. It's two things that's interesting. They're sensory about what we see, what we perceive, and the other thing is what we're hearing, right? And what are we saying? And in that, all of this, the Father reveals himself in this Parsha very specifically as Jehovah Rapha. And I don't know about any of you, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to repeat some of the things I taught on Wednesday because I really think it's important and it's worth repeating again what the Hebrew word Rapha means and how his heart is to heal the fragment places, to pull it back together. That's what we're like going into Shabbat right now, or Shabbat Shalom. But are we understanding that what it looks like? And is he's trying to bring the fragmented pieces back together in all of our lives. So I want to encourage you as I'm going to put this song on real quick, a little bit of a worship song. So I'm going to share it with you. Everyone pray the technical works. And I'm excited to share this. I love it. You guys probably have heard it several times. Bat Rivka Witten, and I will pop the link to this song on YouTube in the chat when we're done. I'm going to copy it now because you know what? I will forget. But it's a beautiful song, Bat Rivka Witten. It's BAHTRIVKA Witten, WHITTEN, and you will just love listening to her music. We adore her, beautiful friend, Israeli. We love her so much. Here we go.
For we were slaves, and you did not forsake us in our bondage. You extended mercy to us to revive us, to repair the house of God and to rebuild us. Oh, and we were guilty of iniquity, helpless in captivity. We've forsaken your ways, but with a mighty and an outstretched arm will you heal our land. Visit us again, reveal yourself again, turn us to you, restore our land and revive us again. And now, oh God, Merciful Father, don't delay. Oh, if we, your people, who are called by your name, shall be humble and pray and seek your face and turn from our wicked ways, then you will heal our land. Visit us again, reveal yourself again, turn us to you, restore our land and revive us again. Visit us again, reveal yourself again, turn us to you, restore our land and revive us again. So we gather, confess, we weep, we tremble, we bow down, we fast, we mourn, we separate ourselves from unholiness, offering a sacrifice of praise. Oh, we gather, confess, we weep, we tremble, we bow down, we fast, we mourn, we separate ourselves from unholiness, offering a sacrifice of praise. Oh, we gather, confess, we weep, we tremble, we bow down, we fast, we mourn, we separate ourselves from unholiness, offering a sacrifice of praise, of praise. Visit us again, reveal yourself again, turn us to you, restore our land and revive us again. Visit us again, reveal yourself again, turn us to you, restore our land and revive us If we, your people, who are called by your name, shall be humble and pray and seek your face and turn from our wicked ways, then you will heal our land.
I love that song so much. It's my favorite. I hope you guys saw that on there. Exciting, exciting. Okay, I don't know which one of my Ruta Cafe co-hosts on here. So Brenda, whichever one you are, you'll just need to unmute and put your camera on so we see ya when you get ready to get on here. So we are in the Parsha. There he is. Yay!
Hi, guys.
She's back. Woohoo! Yay!
I'm
We're
so
in
sorry
it.
for the
Perfect
technical
timing. timing.
difficulties, but hey,
Hey, that's what we do.
that's what we do.
Perfect timing. We get to start in Beshalach today, and we're going to start start at the beginning. We're in Exodus 13:17 is where we're going to start at. Brenda, I was just talking about this is one that kind of kicked my hiney. And when I played that song because for me, one of the big takeaways was that in this particular parsha, he reveals himself as Jehovah Rapha. And this is the first time that I have seen, someone please correct me if because could always be wrong, but that this is the first time I've seen him say, I'm Jehovah Rapha in this time. It was new. It was new me seeing him this year as Jehovah Rapha in this section. And that was pretty crazy for me this time.
I think that for me, this Torah portion was revealed to me in a way that I've never seen it before. I know that we say that, guys, and it sounds like, yeah, they always say that. But in reality, I had more revelations within this Torah portion than I have had in I don't know when. And it really knocked me flat. And I don't know, is anybody else like just repenting through this entire portion? I mean,
yeah, right through the whole thing. And I mean,
Yeah.
I was, Brenda, I'm really, part of me, I'm like, I don't want to repeat a lot of the stuff that I really encourage anyone. You can go back on Band. I did post the video from Messianic Lamb. You can go to Messianic Lamb. You can go to, I think it's I Am Charlie Brown on YouTube. You can watch it on there but I won't dig into a lot of that again today because I know Brenda has so much to bring to the table with this. And we start out, I mean, Brenda, the first thing that happens on this is they jump out. We're in Exodus 13:17 to 17:16. And, they start out right away taking the long way home, right?
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that kind of hit me right off the bat was that it took the long way home. And I was like, well, why? Which we maybe ask every year, like, why did he make them go around the mountain so many times? Why did he make them wander in the wilderness? Why?
Yeah.
And I think for me, when in this very first section, when he's saying he sent them out and he's had to send them the long way because, Brenda, they would have run back.
Charlie, wouldn't we?
I mean,
Yeah.
I am so grateful that he didn't just birth me and then put me where I'm at right now, that I had to go through a process because there's so many things, people, congregations, belief systems that I would run back to when it got hard.
Right.
Exactly. And that's happening here. When things got hard, they're tempted and he knows them and he knows that's going to be a temptation for them constantly, that they're going to want to go back. They're going to see the very thing that enslaved them as the thing they're going to want to run to. And it gets as simple with me this time around reading this, Brenda, it's as simple as sometimes something like food. And I'm going to step on some toes. Why, as believers, are we not walking in the excellence and the temple, the excellence of who he is? And I'm not bringing shame or condemnation.
Not at all.
But what I am bringing is truth. And the truth of it is we have to be good stewards of this. And what's happened is, for me, I've used food as my refuge because it made me feel better. I'm an emotional eater, and I've had to repent because I was going to the food and bowing my knee to that instead of the Holy One. And I was not being a good representation of him, of who he's called me to be. I haven't been walking in the energy that he needs me to walk in. But Brenda, the thing that happens is when things would get stressful and hard and I'd get emotional, you know what I would do? I would run back to this very thing that was enslaving me, that was keeping my energy down, that was keeping me from being able to run after my grandkids and go play.
The very thing
that enslaved me, I ran back to. The very thing that enslaved me, Brenda, there was times when I ran back to people or groups of people. The very thing that enslaved me, I ran back to, including mentors.
Yep.
Because I needed their approval that I was okay instead of him. It's all idolatry. Food.
It's all idolatry.
He knows that right now they're going to want to, and we're going to see, multiple times as you read this, they're going to want to run back and bow their knee to a different God. Because it isn't just about going back to Egypt, right, Brenda? It's not about that.
No.
It's about who are they going to serve? And they're saying it's easier to serve the other guy.
Right. And their identity was wrapped up in their trauma. I know that's a buzzword, but it's the truth, guys. Their identity was wrapped up in their trauma. They did not know. None of them had lived outside. I'm talking about the B'nai Israel, the children of Israel. None of them had lived in freedom. They had all lived in slavery. And to whatever degree. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, well, their slavery was that they had all this money and they had wealth and it doesn't matter. They weren't their own. They could not worship the way they wanted to worship. They could not live the way they wanted. They could not honor their heritage or the calling on their life. They were enslaved, and it might have looked good, and it might have had bows, and it might have had pretty presents, and it might have had fish, pots of fish, and lots of veggies.
Until it didn't, and they had to throw their children in rivers.
Thank you. Exactly.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Oh, wait, it's not that bad.
It wasn't that bad. We just had to throw our children in a river.
Oh gosh, exactly.
What about us? It's not that bad. I just can't wake up in the morning and I'm tired and I'm achy.
Yeah. It's not that bad. There's no 80-year-old Israelite men. They're all dead because they were all thrown in the river and drowned or eaten by crocodiles or, like generations were lost. Generations were lost. And yet they wanted to return. And I think in my own life personally, this just hit home with me. And it's a trauma response to return to what you know, even though in your mind, you recognize that it's not good for you, even though you know that that behavior is detrimental to you and the people around you.
Yeah.
But the trauma response is go back to what you know. Go back to what you know.
It's detrimental to generations, Brenda.
To generations.
I mean, I'm honing in on something true in my life because I want to get so stinking practical. And you and I are coming from, everyone has their own perspective. I know the way I react to trauma, the way I react to things was through food. That's the way I just did it. So I'm going to just focus on it because I want you to see it's in everything. I don't know what you run to. Is it gambling, shopping? What are you running to? Again, people, TV, books. We know what it is, and only you can ask the Holy One what that is.
Yeah.
But what happens is my mother did it, my grandmother did it, and I watched the way that they handled things. And so generationally, and I decided enough. Mm-hmm. I need my daughter to not see me do this, my granddaughters to see this is not how you handle your emotions.
That's right.
This is not what you bow your knee to.
Right.
The way you handle your emotions, it's okay to say, you know what? Yaya's having not a good day. I'm having a hard day. So we're going to turn some worship music on and worship. Yaya's having a really hard day. Can you guys put your hands on me and pray for Yaya to feel better? Let's pray to God right now, Jehovah Rapha, to come and heal the things that are hurting in Yaya right now. Amen. What if we do that instead of saying, make cookies?
Yeah. What is and this is my theme right now, but what is the atmosphere that you are generating in your sphere? And I mean, wherever you're walking, the thing that you might go back to is being snappy and critical and judgmental. That might be your thing that helps you feel like you're, in control. I'm in control. That might be the very thing. And that is an idol. Because it is coming between your face and the face of the Holy One. His face is not facing you when you are being critical and judgmental of other people. I am not talking about walking in wisdom.
Thanks.
Walking in wisdom is what you should do. I know, right? Painful. But this whole thing about finding the speck in everybody's eye, and you're going to let everybody know.
Even these guys, the Israelites, I would have never been them. Didn't they see? They just went through all this. I can't. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding? We would have been in the front of the line.
I would have been in the front. I would have been leading the grumbling because I would have been the grumbling leader. Leadership grumblers, please unite. So that's what would have happened because I have these amazing miracles that happen in my life, Brenda. And the minute something changes my perception, which we'll talk about, my perception changes. Guess what happens? Instantly, I start getting afraid. And when I'm afraid, because grumbling and mumbling is rooted in fear. That's the root, is fear. Yeah, when our perception changes and anxiety, worry, fear, grumbling, all those negative things, the root is fear. The bottom line is fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only thing that changes fear, everything is either love or fear, I believe. My opinion.
Mm-hmm. Simple. It's simple, guys. It either is or it isn't.
It's either love or fear. And we know that perfect love casts out all fear.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
this is really
experienced
cool.
that. I experienced that recently.
Okay. You want to share?
Yes, I will share.
Okay.
This is Brenda being vulnerable. So you might notice that my name has changed. So this past year, I have taken sabbatical and been very minimal, exposing myself very minimally because of some things that have occurred in my personal life. And I was continuing to go back. I kept going back to the Egypt, kept going back. Well, I was divorced a week ago. And I'm not going to discuss that part. I'm not going to dishonor my former husband at all in any way. However, I will say this. When I was facing the court, I was terrified. I was shaking. I was undone. I can't believe this. This is, I've failed. This is horrible. And I was in my room and I was in my room the night before my court meeting, and I was filled with fear and anxiety. And what am I going to do now? I'm 63 years old. I can't start over. I have nothing. I'm zeroed. And I stood in that hotel room and I said, stop. You are God. You are sovereign. This isn't a surprise to you. You have my days planned out. No, I am not doing this. And I started dancing around the hotel room. And as I danced and I put my arms up and I was waving and I was saying, you are good, Father, you are good. Your will is going to be accomplished. I trust that you will speak through the judge. I know that you'll be good. And as I felt a question in my heart, Brenda, you have an assignment. This assignment, are you willing to take this assignment? And I, standing there dancing in my hotel room all by myself, I said, yes, Father, I will take the assignment. And he said, this assignment does not allow room for fear or anxiety. Will you take the assignment? And I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but I said yes with all of my being. I didn't know how I would do that. I didn't know what that would look like. Instantly, the fear was gone. Instantly, the anxiety was gone. Instantly, my perspective changed and I was laser focused. Father, what is your will for your kingdom? How do I align with all of this chaos that's going on in my life? How do I align to your kingdom purposes for me and for the generations and for those that you have carried into my sphere? How do I do that, Father? This is crazy. I can't look at the situation. The situation is disastrous. And he filled me with his presence, his presence. Then I slept like a baby. The next morning I got up at 5 o'clock and I was expecting to have that anxiety and fear, attack me the moment I opened my eyes. Not even a little bit. Are you willing? Are you willing, Brenda? Are you willing to take this assignment? Yes, Father, I am willing. So now when I wake up, yes, Father, I am willing to take this. I was delivered from years of fear and anxiety. Years, ladies, years of fear, of debilitating fear and anxiety. And Charlie, you've walked this out with me. You know how this has played out. And I kept returning to what I knew. And the Holy One said, no more. Are you willing to take this assignment? Yes, Father, I am. Everything went so smoothly. I was praying for the judge. I was praying that God would speak to him and through him, and not just for me, guys. I was burdened with the people that were gathered in that courtroom. Every one of them, it was anxious, anxiety, fear, the unknown. They weren't sure. There was families destroyed. There were people that were in crisis. And he took the vision that was focused on me and my fear and my anxiety. And when I was able to look at him, he began showing me, this is how the kingdom works. Your assignment does not have room for fear and anxiety.
Hallelujah.
That is the
Hallelujah.
world. That is idolatry. That is putting something between my face and his face. That's me doing this. No, you will not move forward if you do that. And so that's what he said. Are you willing? And then he showed me all of these people and their broken hearts. He showed me the judge, and I began interceding. I was not concerned at all about what was being done or said or blah, 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 blah. It was all about, Father, each one of us individually, we don't have space in our calling to walk in fear and anxiety. And one of my fears and one of my anxieties was to even admit that this is what has been happening to me for the last year and the pain of it. But you know what? God is good. And he always turns everything to the good. And I trust him. He is sovereign and he can do anything. Sometimes it doesn't look the way we expect it to, you know,
Life,
40 years.
A lot of times, yeah.
A lot of times it just doesn't look the way we expect it to. It doesn't work out the way we think.
Well, like Moshe thought, probably the 40 years he spent at shepherding, he thought he was just going to be fine. And then there was a disruption. It was like, okay, now you're done. And it's very difficult. And I'm just, thank you for being so brave.
I'm being brave, guys, because I'm a very private person. So
she's being very authentic and brave. Like, this is me. You're all out there, and we love you. And you can see like our chats blowing up, how much they love you, how much they support
Thank you, guys.
This doesn't change a calling. Someone who's very public, or someone who's doing out ministry very publicly, to have to then go through the year that Brenda's had to go through and try to heal from that, and the amazing things that he's going to obviously work all this for, not just your good, but generational good, all of our good.
Yeah. Amen.
So if anyone says anything mean, we will all beat you up. So
yeah. But ladies, listen, I get it. I really do. And this Torah portion is all about that. Because
Brenda, would you talk about the part where they're walking around? Because I think that's kind of where we're at, like right now, is that when they leave, they didn't leave. And then I know we know this, but let's just pretend like we don't. Because sometimes I think we know we're too big for our britches. So let's pretend like we don't know. They leave, let's just say, they leave, and it says they left with their hands lifted up. And the way that where did I put the verse on here so you guys knew? Okay, verse 14:8, and the children of Israel went out high hand. Some verses will say defiant.
Or bold.
My version, how the scripture says defiantly, but the word is rum yad. And it actually, if you look that word up, it's not really defiance. They left out in the strength of the Holy One. They left it out with their arms and their hearts lifted up. It could be also, if you go through and you look at that in your Blue Letter Bible, it also is a gesture of praise. They left lifted up. They weren't like, with middle fingers up. Like they didn't, that's not what it says. They left with their hands up. They were lifted up, because later, I don't think it's an accident. It'd be interesting to look at the chiastic structure of this. They left with hands raised, and we end this portion with Moshe's hands raised because of a battle.
That's right.
It would be interesting. I see Erica, you're on here. Tag, you can go after that one. So Brenda, but they didn't leave, and they didn't run straight. First of all, they didn't go straight to home. There was not, do not pass go, do not collect $100. They did not go straight. First of all, they didn't go right to the Sea of Reeds and start their 40-year wandering. They didn't do that. What did they do first, and why? What do you feel like was your thing?
The thing that grabbed me was that first of all, that the Beshalach, that Pharaoh sent the people out. I just love how God will use your enemy to get you on the path that you need to be. Sorry, hate to tell you.
You will close doors and you're all mad about it. You're like, I can't believe they fired me. Or I can't believe that congregation kicked me out. I can't believe. But I
can't believe they didn't know who I was.
They didn't.
They didn't understand what they had in their presence. No, they didn't. Out. You're out. You're out.
Because you know why, Brenda? There was places I realized, why couldn't I connect there? why didn't I make friends? I've gone to congregations and didn't make one friend.
Yeah.
And I'm calling
Yeah.
Brenda going, no, but everyone's mean. Nobody likes me. Nobody wants to be my friend. And then I realized the Father's like, because I'm not going to keep you here. And I
Yeah.
know you. You will
Yeah.
stay. I have friends from first grade. So
Yeah,
he knows that
exactly.
I will not leave. And it would be, so he
Yeah.
didn't let me make connections.
Right.
So now when those things happened, I thank him. I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to see what's next because there's a reason you're not letting me connect here.
Yeah.
I'm getting it
Exactly.
eventually. But for them, Brenda,
Yeah.
you got a different kind of
I got
revelation on this.
yeah, I got this. So I'm watching this and I'm reading the words that are being used. Adonai led them by the way of the Reed Sea. And then it was saying, hey, wait a minute. Everyone's going to think that we're wandering in the wilderness. We're going back. We should be going forward. We shouldn't be taking this way around again or this way around. And so for 40 years, they were circling. 40 years, right? They were circling. And the imagery that the Holy One gave me, it just blew me away, was he was standing, the Holy One was standing, and his bride was circling. And if you've ever been to a Jewish wedding, or if you know anything, or if you've renewed your vows under a chuppah, the wife circles her husband 7 times. And that circling is identifying her as a Zer Kenegdo. She is circling saying, you are my beloved. My life is now to protect you and to guard your words and to guard your identity and to guard, yeah, exactly. And that, so she's walking around and she is proclaiming her authority. This is not about weak women.
No.
This is about a bride who proclaims her authority because her groom has given her authority. And that's what they were doing in the desert. They were learning how to be a bride. And the Holy One stood in the middle and he allowed them to walk around him so that they could learn who they are. So their identity would be seeped into their generations. A lot of them didn't make it into the promised land, but that's okay because they really did, because their seed went forth. Their seed went forth. The generations went forth.
Right. We don't get that, Brenda, from the Western perspective.
From the Western, not at
all.
all.
About me, I, me. The bottom, but if you're looking at it from an Eastern perspective, and it's how can I prepare my generations for the next best thing?
If your grandson goes,
digging wells for his later generations that will be blessed by. He never drank out of the wells he dug. He didn't need to.
No, he planted trees that took 80 years to bloom.
Yes.
He planted trees for the next generations. And, you know, ladies, when we do something, please be aware that your calling is so valuable.
Yes.
Your atmosphere that you create right now, where you are, if you're alone in a room or if you're in a crowd, the atmosphere that you create goes into your generations. We are reaping the benefit of those who have gone before us. Oh, what? Oh, I don't know what I did. Sorry. Anyway, we are reaping the benefit of those who have sung and danced and prayed and done the hard things and gone forward. And they did it for us. And we can do it for our generations to come.
Yes. Amen.
1,000 generations. He loves 1,000 generations. He judges 3. 1,000 to 3, pretty good odds, right,
I'll take
guys?
the love, right? I'll take the love.
Yeah. I'll take the love.
I'll take the love.
But that's how he wants us to operate.
And that's when they're walking that, we have that, they're going through this, even in the very beginning, they start, I'm just still, that, Brenda, when you said that earlier to me, when you and I were talking, I literally started shaking because it was like, wow. And I'm like, we can look at it as all the things they go around the Mount Seir. Like, are they going around and around and around? You know, what you guys can look at that, spend some time in that, sit in it and look at their journey. Maybe you can look at, I think it's important this year. He's having me go through kind of the geography of things and look at their journey. Look at their journey and see how did they circle. And that's just a beautiful, beautiful picture. So thanks for sharing that. You know, when
Yeah.
they suddenly, it says in verse 10, 14:10, let's see how far we go, right?
Yeah.
14:10,
Okay.
Pharaoh drew near, and the children of Israel lifted their eyes. Nasa ayin. Nasa ayin, they lifted their
Charlie,
eyes. They
what
had a
does that
cloud of the
mean?
Holy One guiding them. They
Yeah.
lifted their eyes, their focus changed, and now they came out with their arms lifted. They're ready to go. Even if you believe, even if not believe, but even if you've translated that or you're reading defiantly,
I surrender.
now all of a sudden, that quick, right? Their now focus changed, and they went from I'm so powerful, I'm in his strength, defiance or joy or whatever in that strength, and their
Yeah.
focus changed. And now all of a sudden they're seeing the
What
very thing that
happened?
is trying to kill them, and now they get
Exactly.
afraid. You guys,
Right.
don't we do this every day,
All the
several
time.
times a day, probably
All the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, and then they start griping. And he's like, weren't there enough burial sites where we were? Hello, why didn't you just leave us there? If we're gonna just die, why? I would rather go back where we were. I mean, don't we do that all the
Yes.
time, you guys? We do it all the time.
This is too hard. I'm just going to go back to the way I was doing it before. This is just too hard. Never mind. I tried. I failed. Never mind. Oh no. Oh no. Because you are seeding into, this is bigger than you. This is bigger than
It is
you.
bigger
It
than
might
you.
feel like it's just you, but it's
But
not.
it isn't. It isn't. And he says something really
No.
cool here. And he says, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Stand and still and see. And you guys, stand still. Are you kidding me? You're standing there. Don't you love it when you're all panicking and someone says, calm down? You're like,
yeah. Go ahead, stab him in the eye with a fork. Oh.
Or they take, you're crying and you're hysterical. They're like, just calm down, don't cry. And then or your children, you're going to cry even more. What are you going to tell a person trembling in fear? They're seeing hundreds of chariots coming after them. The biggest power on the planet, military forces coming after them. But they had to have looked around. They had to have looked around the cloud. Or through it. They had to see somehow. They just changed their perspective. And because their perspective and their focus changed, they started trembling. And Moshe has the nerve to say, calm down, everybody.
Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on.
What does everybody want to do? Run. You know what? Their belts are already tucked in. They got their dresses tucked in their belts already.
Yeah.
So all they want, must be why. Let's go. We got to run. No, he says, stand still.
Yeah, he said, stand still. Hey, pay attention. Hey,
pay attention. Brenda, I snuck
Peter. What about Peter walking on the water? Exact same thing, right?
Same thing.
Hello.
Exact same thing. There's so many verses. That's why it's be still and know. When you've done all you can do, you put on your in Ephesians, you put in all your armor, and then it says
having done all.
It doesn't say put on your armor and go fight. Just to put on your armor and then stand.
Having done all, stand. Stand and
this
see.
Yes. So this is what's happening here, Brenda. And I did take a little sneak listen this morning to Aleph Beta.
Did you?
I took a sneak listen and I got 5 minutes in, and the one thing I grabbed that I happened to pop up on, and I have to share it, is that when he's talking about Miriam's song, he goes, this is so interesting because when Moshe stands there and says, stand still and see, Moshe is standing there representing a nation of people being birthed at the Sea of Reeds. If you go back to his sister, who now is being known as a prophet, she's being now recognized as a prophetess. You go back, and when when her brother is put into the reeds, he's put in a river of reeds, and she stands, the exact same verbiage, she stands to see his salvation.
Yes. Hallelujah.
The very thing that was terrifying. A Pharaoh's daughter, of course he's going to be killed. Now, this is not who he was supposed to go downstream to some random tribe or something to get him. No. The worst possible person on the planet finds him. But that very thing that would have been the scariest thing is the thing that saved him.
Yeah. Because she couldn't go against her father.
No,
the Pharaoh who said they have to die.
Kill them. But the very thing that could have been worse. And she didn't turn away. She didn't avert her eyes.
No.
She focused in those same words. He said, don't be afraid, stand and watch the salvation. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. See the salvation. Stand. The very thing right now that you are afraid of, that's causing anxiety and fear, I'm telling you, that's the very thing he wants to use to strengthen and save you. Why? Because he tells you, because I want them to know who I am. It ain't about you. It isn't about us. He says, stand and watch at the sea. It is a test of our faith.
It is.
It's a test of our faith.
And testing means strengthening. Testing doesn't mean, oh man, I blew it. Testing means the Father is doing this. I'm doing this so that you will be strong, so that you will be able to endure, so that you will be able to bring others with you.
Yes.
It's testing. We think of testing as negative. It's not negative, guys. If you think about how metal is purified, it's through testing. It strengthens it. It removes the things that don't need to be there, that are preventing the strength. And it that's what we just need, a new perspective. Just like later on, we're going to be learning this, Charlie, when Moshe had to lift the bronze serpent up on the pole so that the people would change their perspective. And if they changed their perspective, they were healed.
The very thing they were afraid of.
The very thing.
What brought salvation.
The serpent, whatever that was.
Yeah, you guys don't get so caught up in what you think this is supposed to look like. I mean, I feel like we've beat that to death, talking about Joseph having to work and work in Egypt. And there's some of us need our perspective changed because we're getting too religious in this movement. I'm sorry, I'm going to jump there. We are getting too religious and too focused on all the calendars and the moons and the names and the things that we're like, you're this is covered, this is not covered, this is whatever it is. We're so focused on being Hebrew that we're forgetting about who he is and what he's trying to do. And we're trying to now make new religion out of things. And we have to stop it.
We have to stop it. No time.
Because I promise you, he's going to make some of you get divorced.
Oh,
and it's not going to look like what you said. He's going to make some of you quit congregations and make you go. I've shared with you guys earlier, Randy and I have started going to a Sunday church again. He literally has made us go. We're going there. I don't know why.
Heathen.
I fought tooth and nail for a year, a solid year, saying this is the devil. I'm rebuking it.
I rebuke that.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I go into this church and they're talking about chiastic structures in the book of Esther. We're learning about chiastic structures through the book of Daniel. These people are hungry.
They're
and
hungry.
He's strategically positioning some of us, and he might be calling you, and you're scared to tell anybody. Oops, don't tell anybody. We're going to a Sunday church again. We're not that place right here. Get out of your religious spirit and listen. What does he tell? He may make you go look like an Egyptian and walk like an Egyptian, like Joseph did.
Well, if you're not in the marketplace, how are you affecting the marketplace? If we are,
that's not what Yeshua did.
He was in the middle of it. He was in the middle of the taxpayers. He was in the middle of those that were the outer fringes.
Yes. Oh wait, the woman at the well, they were doing it the wrong way, going to the wrong place.
She was living with the guy. She wasn't married.
Whatever. Doing it all the wrong ways.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing is,
be careful what you're judging.
You're called to holiness. You are called to holiness. You have to walk that out. Now, other people, it's not your job to go in there and start telling them everything that they're doing wrong. Your job is to walk in holiness before the Lord.
And we're so focused
on walk it out.
Yes, ma'am. And we're trying to worry about getting out. I'm hearing this a lot. I'm going to step on so many toes and you guys can all quit.
Yeah, we're going to go down to 12 or
let's go to 12.
People left.
Maybe less work. No, just kidding. So here's the thing. We are I hear it all the time. We got to get out of Babylon. We got to get out of Babylon. Guess what? That's how the people got stronger and they got reconvicted of the word.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It requires you to walk it out. Father, how are you going to walk it out to your kids if you can't walk it out to your neighbor?
Right. Daniel, I mean, we have Daniel did not leave Babylon. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, whatever their Hebrew names were, they had to live it in front of
Esther.
everybody. Esther had to live it in front of everybody. They had
Yes.
to live it in front of everybody. Stop trying to get out of it and live it. Get close to him. Stop trying to get out of it. That's why he's not calling you to necessarily leave. Just listen to what he's saying, because he's calling us to walk and to be able to minister to the hungry and the brokenhearted and bind up their wounds. And we get to partner with him as Jehovah Rapha to bring healing to hurting people.
That's right.
And most of us, I'm noticing, we're staying in our tiny little communities and our little things because we want to learn more. And we've got the dance moves all down now, and we're going to learn a bunch more. And our communities are dying.
Our neighbors are dying. Women are being abused and neglected, and widows are starving and having to decide whether they eat or buy their medications. We are supposed to be in the community making a difference. And we can't do that if we just stay in our house with the doors closed and the window shades, and we only fellowship with other believers. We have to take this amazing gospel that he has poured out, and we need to proclaim it.
Highways and byways.
That's
Sarita just said we need to be the light in the darkness.
Amen.
What good is your light if you're in the light with everybody with your light? Well, thank goodness you have a really bright room.
Wonderful.
Well, good for you.
How's that helping
you have a bright
anyone?
room. Exactly.
Because remember, Charlie, that this is not just about you. This is a deception that we have been fed, this lie.
That's a great
it's
lie.
Just about me and him.
Elect?
It's just about me and God. It's just about my personal walk with him. No, it's not. It's part of it. It's about your relationship with him in order for you to walk it out and bring in others, to walk out with others. That's what Yeshua said. I pray that as we are one, they'll be one. That's how we're supposed to be praying for people. That's it. Walk it out. You don't have to smoke cigars. You don't have to, you have to do drugs. You don't have to
drink the Kool-Aid. You don't
have to drink the Kool-Aid.
You're called to be in the world, not of it. So you get to be in it, and you get to walk it the way Daniel did, and not judgmentally. Like some people were saying, oh, it's a good thing you're going to go to that church, because if you go, then they're going to see it. I'm like, what are they going to teach me?
What are they going to teach you? Right.
I don't want to come in there with some pride that, oh, I'm going to come in and bring them to the Hebraic roots of their faith. I'm going to show them the light. No, I am going to walk this out humbly.
You're going to walk it out.
But what I'm going to also do is, Father, how do I bless? How can you use me?
How do I serve?
How are you going to use them to fill some holes that maybe I have gotten so Hebrew minded that I'm no earthly good? I don't know.
whatever that saying should be. I don't know.
Make up that thing.
Make up a saying and let us know.
Sisters.
We'll have a present for whoever gets the best saying.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
no, really, it's truly, Charlie, it is truly about perspective. It's so simple. We read this and we get all caught up in, the whole thing with Pharaoh being killed and all these people, and God's so angry. Oh, guys, he's not angry. What he's saying is, nope. Think about what you say, Charlie, when you're talking about your mom. I'm sorry, but when she would say, I made you and I can make another.
She would use she'd quote Bill Cosby. I made you, I can take you out and make another one that looks just like you.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, we get so caught up with this whole thing of, well, God's angry. He's angry. He's not. Yes, he has righteous anger. Of course he does. He's God. And he will allow, bam, no more.
Yeah. Because
kind of what he did with me.
That's
what he did with last week.
Right?
It is hurting you, and it's hurting everyone around you, and it's hurting your generations. So,
and I love those 1,000 generations more than I love your generation. Exactly. So I'll clean this up for the next 3 so that the 1,000 will prosper.
That's it. Exactly. He will visit. He will allow his presence to be made known. And if they choose or if they don't choose, but his love goes 1,000 generations. And guess what? The 3 generations are in that 1,000. Can I just say? So
Yeah.
God's good.
3,
So
7, whatever it takes. I got you.
yeah.
Let's just get this done.
So here we go. We have all of this with them, going around, and then the chariots coming and the people's perspective getting put down to the earthly perspective. No. We got to keep our eyes up. We got to keep our eyes up so that we see, what are you seeing, Father? How do you want me to see this? What is your perspective, Abba? Really? My husband's not doing this, or my kids are not serving you, or, understandable. Is that painful? Oh my gosh. Yes. We are not discounting the pain of it all.
Or the fear. There's a
or the
temptation to be
fear.
afraid.
How are you going to support yourself? How are you going to do this? How are you going to, I get it. And I don't mean that, I mean that from the depth of my being. I really do. But the thing is that he is God. He is sovereign. Are you kidding me? I sat at the courthouse. I sat in my car and I had my paperwork and I said, Father, what do I do now? What do I do now? I'm sitting in Texas in the parking lot of a court. What do I do now, Father? And I just sat there and I said, I'm going to sit here until you tell me. I'm just going to sit here until you tell me. And I just sat there. And I said, I could go to Texas. I can go to East Texas, I can go to West Texas. I can go to North Arkansas. I can go to Austin, Texas, South Texas. I can go to Oklahoma. Where do you want me to go? And he told me Oklahoma. And it just like I'm like, okay. And I'm in Oklahoma. No, I'm not going to lay down and die. No, I'm not going to give up. No, I'm not going to walk in. I can't believe this happened to me. Blah. No, guys, we don't have time.
We don't have time. And
we don't have time.
And if you're around either one of us very lot, it's not that I'm not being sensitive, but it's like this. He's taking us through things. And when we're griping and complaining, I'm like, did you die? But did you die?
Yeah, but you're still alive to gripe.
You're still alive to gripe. So let's just be grateful about that, So they get through this water, the very thing that we and you guys, we've done this years before. Go back and rewatch, and we've talked about the Ma'im. We've talked about the water can be confusion, or it can be the thing that leads you to the next thing. So for the children of Israel, it led them to their destiny. For the Pharaoh and them, because they stayed in their will, their heart hardened, stayed in their will and their things. So that same life-giving thing actually brought chaos and destruction. So,
water's chaos. If that is where you're at, water is chaos. That's why they were so scared of water.
Yeah,
because it can destroy you.
And like look at it. Look at the very thing that they threw the babies in the water, and then now it'd be interesting to know how many people died to see if there was a because we see later 3,000 died and 3,000 are added.
Yeah, exactly.
I think God does cool things with numbers.
Isn't it cool that they walked through on dry land? Okay. So they walked through. Well, they walked through. I would have been running.
The same east wind that brought destruction and brought in the plagues and it brought in the signs.
Yeah.
The same wind came in and brought them through on dry land.
Yeah. I heard a midrash that said that there were 12 openings and the 12 tribes all went at the same time.
That would be cool.
It's just a midrash. It's just a story, guys. But
it doesn't
isn't
go
that
along
cool?
with Charleston Heston's version.
Yeah, it doesn't. No. And then the other thing was that the water walls that were up, that as they went through, they could reach in and get the fruit off of the trees because they were seeing the garden. Because you know what, guys? Cool. You think about it. Anyway, it's a story, but it's a pretty cool story.
But it's
I like
fun.
that.
And for those of you who get freaked out, like, oh, that's not that, it's midrash, that you've missed the point. The point is no different than a fable. It's the same reason Yeshua he taught in parables. If you're like, well, that didn't really happen, but Yeshua's talking about some seeds on a ground and birds. That didn't really. That you missed the point. The point was he's trying to get a concept over to you. So don't get stuck in that kind of
that
stuff.
God will provide for you even in the midst of crazy cray.
In the cray of the cray. So 1526, Brenda, again, I have to reinforce this because this is the part that was so powerful to me. And then we're gonna like midrash chat away in our after party. Okay. But in 1526, and he said, if you diligently obey the voice, your Elohim, and do what is right in his eyes, and shall listen to his commands, and shall guard all his ways, I shall bring on you none of these diseases I brought to the Mitzrites, for I am Jehovah who heals you. I am Jehovah Rapha, is what he says. So when he says, if you're Shamar, Asa, Shema, if you listen, obey, do all the things
Keep. Yep.
keep, if you keep it, guard it, protect it. Oh wait, if you do those things, then if you not just faith without works, not just hearing only, not just learning all the Hebrew you can learn and learning
not filling your head with knowledge.
No, if you do this and protect it and guard it and go after it, I'm going to heal you. He says, I'm the God who heals you. And this is when he says, when that word Rapha, the picture, you guys, of that word Rapha in Hebrew, the hieroglyphic is sewing, mending something back together that has been torn and split apart.
Exactly.
That's the picture.
It's a tailor. It's a tailor who is mending.
Yes.
He is
so
mending.
Think about the garden. He was Jehovah Rapha in the garden. He mended.
Yes, he was.
He tailored them clothes to cover them.
That's right.
He says, if you'll do these things, no matter what gets fragmented, no matter what crazy, it doesn't say if you do this all perfect. He's saying, no matter if you're guarding and protecting and walking this through, you're going to get ripped. You're going to get torn apart. Things in your life are going to get split. You're going to make choices still that are going to not be okay. And you're going to need mending.
And he's provided for that because that's who he is. He knows. He's not afraid of that. He's not afraid of you making a mistake. He's not scared that you're going to make a mistake.
Tailor. He's the ultimate tailor. He can bring you back to whole and no one ever sees the seams. You can look back, and if you look really small, you can be like, I can look and say, oh yeah, I remember when I made this choice and there's a little there what used to be a tear right here, but he fixed it. He fixed it. He's bringing
it and it's stronger now.
Yes. It's stronger now because it's been put together. The other thing, Brenda, is that when he has called us to also be that tailor in our environments, because we're supposed to be like Yeshua. He says, I do what I see him do. I say what I see him say. And we see that Yeshua came with healing in his wings, right? In his tzitzit, he had healing. They touched the hems of his garment. He was healed.
Boom.
That's what we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to be out judging all the things. We're supposed to be coming in and helping mend the brokenhearted, binding up their wounds.
That's right.
That's what we're called to do.
Yeah. Taking care of the widows, the orphans, the fatherless, the foreigners. Come on, guys.
Was the altar work. It was the altar work. The Levites came in and they were the kingdom of priests, right? Well, the Levites were to walk that and show us how to do that. They processed the people's at the altar with them and got dirty and yucky, but they helped mend things back together. They help bring mending. And so that's what we're called to do.
Yeah,
and this for me was probably one was our perception, right?
Yes.
What are you looking on? If you can't call me and you're freaking out and you're freaking out all over the place, the first thing is, what are you focused on? What are you focused on? What's your perspective?
Exactly. That's the question, ladies. Write that down. You need to write that down. When you hit that, what are you focused on? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Charlie.
And he's Jehovah Rapha.
Yes.
For you, you haven't done anything. You haven't caused a rip. You might think that you put your outfit through the shredder and you think that there's no one who can breathe. I want to speak to you today.
Yeah.
I want to tell you that there is I don't care if you got a crisp cut shredder and it's like confetti, he can put that outfit, he can put you back together and mend you and no one ever know. He'll make it beautiful like a patchwork quilt that everyone will think you got a custom outfit on. He's going to make what you think that you fear, the thing you fear that people, what if they really knew who I was? What if they really knew what I have done? You know what? He's going to take that thing, your Pharaoh, your chariots that are coming after you, that are scaring you. If you change your perspective, if you obey, honor, do, guard, if you listen, if you make it part of everything in your being, he will heal you.
Yes, he will. He is. He's the mender, the great mender. And he doesn't mend back to the way it was. It will never be the way it was. It will always be better. Always.
Better, stronger.
Always stronger and better. Always.
Way better than fig leaves.
Way better.
He'll give you a fur coat.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Fig leaves don't stand up to worms,
Right.
But,
just saying.
Yeah. But leather does.
Yeah. You guys be blessed.
So
Brenda, I love this. Can't wait to
Thank
see
you
next
so
time.
much. Yes, let's do it again.
Yeah,
Um,
do this again.
I love you guys so much, and thanks. And thank you for all of you on band and all of you newbies. Hello, we love you. Mwah. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, welcome. And those of you guys right now, for just a final word for you guys before we go into our after party, wanted to remind you guys, if you are not a member of the Rooted Cafe right now, your first month is 50% off. So it's $10 for your first month. You get you a chance to go in, try it out. It's like $9.99. And you go in, you can check it out, you can try all the things, you get to be part of our band private community. We're all in there, so you get to talk to us, you can private message us, you can ask us questions, all the things, as well as our live calls. You get access to all the conferences for free. She Prays is coming up in next month. It's going to be
so exciting.
Phenomenal conference. You get all the videos, you get everything for free as a member. So please just go in and check it out. Love you guys. And for all of you staying for the after party,
let's hang.
Hang.
Let's hang.